Just imagine, to escape from hell, a man has to go into different bodies which he has to keep alive at any cost. The story starts with a young boy named Choi who was on his way to an interview in a big company. He got a call from his manager who was wishing him good luck, but then suddenly in front of his eyes, a man crossing the road was hit by a car and fell directly under Choi's feet. Choi tried hard to save him, but the poor man died in his arms. Choi was so deeply shocked by this incident that he could not even answer the questions easily in the interview, and it was a simple matter that he did not even get a job. Choi did not work for the next 7 years. He kept searching, sometimes as a laborer, sometimes as a waiter, and sometimes by driving a taxi to repay his debts somehow. On the other hand, his friends did good jobs and were able to support their families. On the other hand, even after sending thousands of resumes, Cho was not getting a good job. He kept passing by, but there was no change in his life. Then one day he was called for an interview again in the same company where he had gone 7 years ago when the manager saw that he had been earning his living by doing odd jobs continuously for so many years. Seeing this, Choi's hopes were once again awakened, but after some time, he got the news that the company in which he had invested money has come to a standstill and all his money has been lost. On hearing this, he got angry and went straight to the investor's house and started breaking the door in anger. Then the neighbors called the police on him. Nothing good was happening in poor Choi's life. Now Choi, in despair, went to his fiancée Jenny's house. So he saw that she was getting down from another man's expensive car. When Jenny saw Cho, she gave her some money to help Cho, but Cho got angry with her and told her to forget it because he doesn't want her. Yanni spent her life with a failed man. Then when Cho returned to his house, he saw that all his belongings were lying outside the door. Actually, the landlord had thrown him out of the house for not paying the rent. Then the next morning, when a message came from the same company that he was not even selected for the job, poor Choi went crazy because of this and he did not understand what to do now. He went straight to the roof of that building and started thinking that from the day that man died in his hands. Since that day, his life has been going from bad to worse. Now Choi had no fear of death in his mind. He took a step forward and there was darkness all around. After regaining consciousness, Choi removed the blindfold and saw that he was sitting in an airplane. Then he saw on the monitor that this face was not his, but he had come into someone else's body. Then a girl came in front of him and his last letter started reading. She said that Choi is now dead, but she believed that death does not take away the pain of a person. She then took Choi to a place where he could actually feel the pain. At this time, both of them were on a high tower. Where painful screaming sounds were coming from below, she told that she is the goddess of death and that she has come to punish Cho for deciding his own death. After this, she threw the rat down and he went straight to the wild animals. Falling into a swamp filled with demons, Cho screamed and faced these demons, and suddenly he was back in the form of an airplane cabin boy. He would have to take the bodies of 12 people and die 12 times. If he wanted to escape hell, he would have to survive these 12 chances. And then explained to him that it was just a turbulator. Well, soon everything became fine. When Choi went around in the plane, he was surprised to see so many expensive things. Then suddenly a shining thing appeared in front of him which was full of memories and abilities of the person in whose body he is now living. Choi came to know that now he is in the body of the second son of the owner of the company in which he wanted to work for so many years. He thought that now he can live his life comfortably with this wealth. That is why he decided to live like this. Choi went to his seat and put the seat belt, but suddenly there was a huge explosion in the plane and Choi was burned to death in the fire. After this, when he opened his eyes, he saw a shining door in the form of Choi. Choi was sitting in front of a person who was going straight to hell, while the goddess of death, Hell, was sitting on a table, loading bullets into a gun with the help of which she would kill him again and send him to another body, but Choi was not aware of the rules of this game. Unable to understand, she said that if he was going to die a horrible death every time, then how would he survive? But Hale said that this is your headache, not mine. Then she took Cho on a tour of hell, where there was blazing fire all around. There was burning and there were sounds of screaming and shouting from everywhere. Then Hale said that it was his fault that before death could reach him, he himself came close to death. That is why now he will have to face the punishment. Then hail shot him, and suddenly Choi saw himself falling from the sky, and when the glowing stone entered his mind, he realized that he had entered the body of a man who performed extremely dangerous stunts. At this time, he was performing the stunt of jumping from the sky without a parachute. People from all over the world were watching him. If he survived, his sponsors would pay him a lot of money. After seeing that man's ability, Choi thought that maybe he could do this stunt, but instead of falling into the net, he hit somewhere far away, and he died on the spot. When he opened his eyes, he was again at the door of hell. He was very angry because he had no chance to save his life. I was born in the air. Choi said that in her real life, he saw nothing but sorrow. He was born in a poor family, never got a proper job, and even lost his fiancée. But this did not matter to Hale, and he again turned the gun on Choi. Choi was in the body of a schoolboy. He saw that a boy was laughing at the death of the same stunt performer after watching a video. Then a shining stone entered his mind, and he came to know that his father had died, and he was living with his mother. Lives with his mother. He works hard day and night, but he doesn't like going to school at all because some evil children harass him every day. One day after being beaten, he became so frustrated that he did something wrong. Now Choi, before his death, he thought that if he survived this time, he would not have to go to hell and he could start a new life. But then a boy named James started harassing him again. Then Choi got angry. Choi tried to teach him a lesson by picking up the chair, but James's friends attacked him and no one came to help him. Later Choi thought that to save himself, he would have to take the help of a strong boy. Well, when he reached home, he found himself in poverty. Seeing the condition, he remembered his mother. When he was having dinner with the boy's mother, he started crying remembering his mother's compulsions. Then in the evening he got a message from James who was harassing him and asking for money to attack Choi, but he flatly refused. In fact, Choi himself had forbidden him to intervene because now he was going to do everything himself. On the other hand, James was in 11th class. When the leader went to ask Tom for help, Tom arrived with his gang to teach Choi a lesson, but as soon as he saw Choi, he was surprised that James couldn't stand being alone with a small boy. James got embarrassed when Tom attacked Choi. When he tried to attack, James along with him came forward to help Choi. The matter ended there, and then Choi started exercising every day to become stronger, but James was teased too much by his friends that day. Choi got beaten by a boy, and one evening, seeing him alone, James attacked him with a stone and took his life. Once again Choi's eyes opened at the door of hell, and suddenly he got shot in the head. This time he again reached in the new body where he was tied to a chair and had a cloth over his head. The goons present around him were torturing him and asking the whereabouts of the girl and the money. Just as they were about to hit Choi with a hammer, suddenly a glowing stone fell on him. Entering his mind, Choi discovered that this time he was in the body of a serial killer who had fallen in love with his boss's girlfriend. When the girl asked for his help in escaping, Choi stole $10 million from the boss and gave it to the girl, and he hid it in a safe place, but soon the boss caught hold of him. Well, Choi freed himself by using force, and then turned off the lights and dismissed all the goons. Then Choi decided to find the boss's stolen money so that he could get a new job. When he opened the door to start his life, he was inside a moving truck. Now he escaped with a motorcycle and a group of goons chased him. They surrounded him on a bridge, but Choi very cleverly escaped from their clutches, but still, some goons came after him. So he went straight to the roof of a building and jumped into a pool from there. The boss ordered him to be caught immediately. Here, Choi ran to the seashore and the boss's girlfriend came and hugged him. Choi tells her that all the money is on the balloon boat, then suddenly the girl shoots him. Once again, Choi is on the doorstep of hell, and Hal is laughing at him, but even Choi was not that stupid. In fact, he shot the girl. He was not told the real address of the money, and now he will search for the money in the next life. After this, he comes in the body of a jail prisoner, where his comrades tell him to be careful, because a crazy killer is there 4 days before his release. When the madman came into the room, Choi saw that it was James, the same boy who used to harass him in class. On seeing him, Choi got furious and attacked James. Well, his friends stopped him. Then a shining stone entered his mind. Choi came to know that at this moment he was in the body of a boy who used to dream of becoming an MMA fighter, but his mother had a huge debt on her head, to repay which she had to commit the crime of some rich son-in-law. He was ready to take it upon himself. At that time he was less than 18 years of age, hence he was sentenced to only 2 years of imprisonment. After this, when the lawyer of the real culprit came to meet him, he threatened to tell the truth to the whole world. Thus he confessed his crime, asked for some more money to keep him locked up. Now in jail, Choi told James that he'll bring out his reality in front of everyone because Choi knew that James is not a madman but a puss-heart who kills children. Then one day he will work in the workshop, while his body. Now the boy whom James had killed in school was standing in front of him in the body of Choi. He said that he would never give up on James. Hearing this, James started having fits of fear. Finally, the day of Choi's release came, and Choi met the real criminal's lawyer. The lawyer tried to give him more money, but Choi he refused and said that now he will make his own life. After this he reached the same beach and found the same $10 million which he had hidden in his previous life. He reached his home with the money and started thinking about his future life. At night he dreamed of his mother and woke up crying. Then he got a call from the MMA fighter's mother and promised to meet her. She divided the money in 2 bags, one for the MMA fighter's mother and the other bag. He hid it in the locker of the station. Now he reached the area where the fighter lived, but suddenly someone stabbed him in the stomach. Choi did not understand who attacked him. Then the man told that he was the daughter of the same girl. Choi apologized to him and told him the truth that the real culprit was someone else, and he had taken this crime on himself just for the sake of some money. Hearing this, the man got scared and ran away from there. Then suddenly that fighter Choi's jail friend arrived there, but then he revealed that he had gone to the jail with the sole purpose of killing Choi. Now he was very happy to find him, because now he would get a reward for killing him. He stabbed Choi in the stomach with 1 stroke. Then Choi's phone rang, and he was receiving a call from the fighter's mother. Now once again, he came in front of Hale, but he started crying remembering his mother. Elle said that he failed this time too. But Choi said he wanted to go to the next body. Elle fired the gun at him, and now he was in the body of a young boy. He was a short distance from the train station and ran to the storage room and immediately took out the bag of money. Then suddenly his eyes fell on a poster, and the shining stone entered his mind. He understood that now he had come into the body of a model. Well, when Choi reached home, he was surprised to see the grandeur there. Then he got a call from his friend, who was inviting him to the party. After going to the party, Choi realized that he gets addicted to alcohol very easily. Then, the CEO of the same company in which he had been trying to get a job posing as Choi for so many years came there. Tried to talk to him, but soon he became unconscious due to intoxication. The next morning his elder brother woke him up, and when he opened his eyes he came to know that both of them run a cafe together, and today after his brother's departure he is the sole owner of the entire business. Today he was working as a waiter, and at that very moment Jenny came to that cafe. When he was alive as Choi, Jenny was his fiancée. Seeing her, Choi's heartbeat started increasing, and he remembered his love. He remembered that how he met Jenny for the first time. Choi helped her when the pages of her book were blown away, and then he remembered how he had told Jenny to move on because according to him, he was the #1 idiot. When Choi's brother saw that Choi was nervous after seeing Jenny, he told Choi that Jenny was a famous writer. Choi immediately noticed that Jenny's novel had recently won an award. It was based on the story of one of her lovers. When Choi immediately found and read the book, he realized that Jenny had written this book about Choi and the beautiful moments he spent with her. It was with his family, and after hearing him call Jenny his sister, Choi realized what a big mistake he had made. Then the next day, Choi brought special tea for Jenny from her. He went to meet her and said that he wanted to tell her a story for her new book. Then he told the story of a man who was facing death by going into different bodies one after the other. He told everything in such detail that Yanni Janie was very impressed by him and asked him the name of this person, but Choi changed the topic and asked for his autograph. Then he saw that Janie was using the same fountain pen. Actually, this pen was given to her by Choi's mother. After that day, Choi started meeting Janie every day and started telling her the story of heroes every day. Janie was surprised to see that everything seemed so real. Then one day it was raining, so Choi gifted a red umbrella to Janie. After this, when he returned to the cafe, a glass was broken by a waiter. When Choi helped him clean the glass, he hurt his hand. Then suddenly the sound of police sirens was heard in the distance, and people present in the restaurant came out and heard about the accident. At that very moment, Choi ran outside, and seeing the red umbrella broken, he was heartbroken. He thought that something had happened to Janie in the accident, but Janie was standing safely on the other side. Seeing Choi's condition, she came to him and applied ointment on his hand. Yanni realized that Choi felt that someone close to her had died in an accident. Yanni could understand all this because she too had faced the same fate after Choi's death. Now Yanni, while leaving, said that she would not meet him again because his story reminds her of her lover. After some time, she went to Choi's grave and started crying, remembering him in front of his picture. Here Choi was watching her from a distance. After she left, he himself went there and saw his real mother. When he saw them crying, he himself came out and started crying bitterly and started begging for their forgiveness. Later, posing as Choi as friend, he wrote a letter to his mother and kept it in a bag full of money and took it to his mother's house. Then he met Janie the next day and told her the next story. Janie was very happy to hear him, and then Choi dropped her home. On the way, Janie said that she would pray that the hero's story has a good ending. Then she remembered that when Choi used to be a waiter, Jenny had introduced him to her friends. She did not care that Choi was a waiter because in her eyes, Choi's hard work was the most important thing, but Choi kept thinking that Jenny would recover from his death. Well now, Choi realized his mistake and apologized to Jenny wholeheartedly. He said that he had always loved Jenny. Then he told Jenny the truth that he was the real Choi, and everything that happened to him happened. Not a story, but a truth. He promised that now he was not going to leave Jenny and go anywhere, but then suddenly a car stopped in front of him. And it was the owner of the same company in which Choi had given the interview, and then Choi realized that every time also he came in different bodies, and he definitely meets this man in some form or the other. When the airplane accident happened, perhaps this man had a hand in it. This time he ran over Jenny, and then brutally killed Choi too. And when Choi opened his eyes, he was again at the door of hell. He understood that the same person behind the car was responsible for his not being alive every time. He got angry, came and swore to take his life, and then ran and fired a shot at Hell, the goddess of death. With this, the story ends. When the next part comes, we'll make a video of that too. Till then, bye-bye, and if you like the video, don't leave without subscribing.